Jen and Jamie on a Thursday.
Dynamic Duos, Bible Edition.
Hey there, Luncheons!
Luncheons!
If you see, we are coming to
Luncheon is really an appropriate title for today's,
It
because we
is.
look rather alienish.
Yes, we have been moved to Planet Nursery because unfortunately mistakes were made last week in the green screen, thinking those greens are different enough. Poor
Nope.
Jamie's head here was floating.
Not different enough.
And so, being Mike Wazowski this week, we clearly could not get away with a green screen.
You would have
so-
been like an eye and some horns,
Horns.
and then the rest of you would have been
and that's it. So,
questionable.
yeah. So I see that you do have the lunchbox.
I do have a lunchbox.
So it must be time for
Jen and Jamie on a Thursday.
Dynamic Duo Edition. All right, first of all, is this thing on?
You're totally channeling your character here.
Hello? Hello? Okay, before we start,
Mhm.
I've been working on a couple of jokes, okay?
Well, that is
So-
Mike Wazowski's thing.
Here goes the first one. Ready?
Okay.
I have a joke about construction.
Okay. What is it?
I'm still working on it.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
Are you sure laughter's the way to go to collect more power,
Yes,
Mike Wazowski?
because this is my go-to. Like, this
Okay.
one will get you laughing your head off.
Okay.
I have been telling this joke since I was a little girl, and I mean, super old. Super
So I was
old.
gonna say, so it's a really old
dated
joke.
myself, but it's really old.
Really
okay?
old joke.
Like the first joke book I had. Are you ready? What happened to the couple that met in the revolving door? Now,
do people still use revolving doors?
for those of you who don't know what a revolving door is, if you've ever been to a hotel that has one of those doors that you try to like
They're
get
the
in,
best.
yes, they're fun. Okay, that's a revolving door. So, what happened to the couple that met in the revolving door?
They're still going around together.
So funny.
Don't quit your day job.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Well, clearly, since this is not going to become the Jennifer joke hour,
Nope.
we did have a lunchbox item last week. It's
Yes.
dynamic duos. We are clearly Mike Wazowski and Sully,
Sully, but our thing last week was
a baby boy.
a baby boy.
Thanks to everybody who left us a comment.
Yes.
You had great guesses, all wrong.
We did have some that were kind of close.
They were close.
Close-ish.
Has something to do with the story.
Right.
Eventually it leads to, saving this person
Right.
that you guessed, but not in fact
Not the
not
actual person.
story. In fact, it's kind of fun. These
It
ones
is
are
a-
fun.
these
So
are.
what we're gonna
Oh, yeah.
do is, last week we had Priscilla and Aquila.
Right.
This week we have we are going to try and every other week it. So like one week will be a very well-known dynamic
Mhm.
duo. Then the next week, not so
Not
well
quite
known
so
because we
well-known.
want to investigate the Bible a little bit more, dig a little
Right.
bit deeper.
I mean, this is a small, learning time and a
Yes.
devotional time for you guys. So if we gave you, ones you always have known, you're not going to keep
Yeah,
watching
I
us.
mean, look how many pages and books there are.
Right?
Dynamic duos everywhere.
We have a lot to learn.
Okay,
This
so,
week's comes
Yeah.
from Exodus chapter 1. So those of you that guessed at Moses and Miriam were close, but not
well,
quite.
Yeah, because eventually this is what saved Moses' life.
This is going to play into that. So, this is from Exodus chapter 1, verses 15 through 19, which says, "The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiphrah and Puah, 'When you help the Hebrew women in childbirth and observe them on the delivery stool, if it is a boy, kill him. If it is a girl, let her live.' The midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt told them to do, and they let the boys live. Then the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and asked them, 'Why have you done this? Why have you let the boys live?' The midwives answered Pharaoh, 'Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women. They are vigorous and give birth before the midwives arrive.'"
So just like in Mike and Sully,
Yes.
they were monsters. So clearly the only way for a monster to get power was to scream and scare
Right.
people, right?
That's what they were told. That's what
Yeah.
their leader told them to do.
That was not the good plan though, because
Mm-mm.
they found that laughter and telling jokes was a far better plan.
Not only did they collect more power, but it was so much better for all the people.
It was joy. You didn't give kids nightmares, and then you
Right.
were laughing.
Yes.
How did that relate to our two favorite women in the Bible, the midwives? Shiphrah
and Puah. Well, Shiphrah and Puah were told one thing by their king, by Pharaoh. They were told that they needed to kill all of the firstborn sons because he was power hungry. He wanted it to be about him. Just like in Mike and Sully's case, their leader wanted it to be about him. He was trying to collect the most power. But they were people who loved the Lord, and they decided that, you know what, this is not what God wants me to do. And they followed God instead of following man. And so they show us, this dynamic duo shows us that God's plan is always going to be so much better than man's plan.
Yeah, because man's plan was selfish and for all the wrong reasons. He wanted to kill all the baby boys because he didn't want anybody else to threaten his power or take over as king.
Right.
So, well, guess what? God, who is far bigger than any earthly plan, any earthly person, said, not so fast.
Not so fast. And so through Shiphrah and Puah,
those are fun names to say.
They are
We've
really
had a lot
fun.
of fun names.
Through them, we learn that we should follow God's plan always, no matter what, because he knows what's best for us.
Yeah, so get that nasty, ugly scare and scream out of here and bring in laughter and fun and God's plan. So, all right, with that being said, it is time for...
What's in the lunchbox?
I have no table to pound.
We have to improvise our drum roll. All right, inside the lunchbox we have...
Ooh, are we going hunting? For monsters?
a bow and 3 arrows.
A bow and 3 arrows.
Now remember, this one was not as well known, so this week's should be more well known. We're counting on you guys to guess correctly. Don't forget, you can comment below on Facebook. You can send us a text message. You can stop us in the hallway. You can, however, send a carrier pigeon.
Yeah, ooh, an owl.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Harry Potter-like.
You know what I just noticed?
What?
We need to find more and different colors in this building. Your forehead is blending right in.
Just because we're like not at the green screen, now I'm like blending into the background.
We need either a non-green wall or a non-blue wall.
Oh,
Blessed Savior, the blue church. That's hard to find though. So
tune in next week. See what colors we blend
Jen
in.
and Jamie, aka Mike and Sully.
May your lunchbox always be full.
We'll see you next time.
Jen and Jamie on a Thursday.